So before I came to know Christ, I was really confused about my faith for the longest time. I grew up in a religiously divided household where my mom was Christian, but my dad wasn't. And the only times I ever went to church were for Christmas Eve and Easter Sunday services. And in middle school, I declared myself Christian. And I put that in air quotes because at the time, I didn't really come to know God. I just had gone to a series of youth groups and everyone there was Christian, so I wanted to fit in and belong. So I kind of just said I was Christian without really knowing what that meant. Fast forward to high school, I had quite a few friends who had really strong relationships with the Lord, and I envied that because even though I still considered myself Christian at the time, I still didn't really understand like what that meant, and I still didn't really have a relationship with the Lord. But again, I wanted to fit in, so I put on this whole facade to everyone that I had this newfound faith. But in reality, like, I was still just as confused about Christianity as I had been my entire life. So while I was still struggling with my faith, I was also struggling with who I was as an individual. I remember just feeling like I didn't have a lot of self-worth, and most of my decisions were based off of other people's wants and desires. And because of that, I kind of just wanted to paint this image of perfection to the outside world, because I felt like if I didn't know who I was, at least I could fool everyone else into believing that I did. And so I had this whole thing of like the perfect friends, the perfect family, the perfect grades, the perfect looks. And I did all this because I wanted validation. And I thought the only way to get it and feel self-worth was from other people. Going into college, I had this whole plan about just kind of forgetting about my past and then moving out of the house. But that whole plan didn't really work out. I didn't get into any of the colleges that I really wanted to get into, and I ended up going to San Jose State. And so for the first 3 months of college, I was commuting to school, and during that time I was feeling really hopeless and angry because I didn't understand why none of my plans were working out, and I thought I would always be stuck living in my past and I wouldn't be able to escape the situation that I was in. And so what I didn't realize at the time was that all of these events, all these hardships, they were leading me towards God. And it was only through God, ultimately, that I would be able to find myself and find that fulfillment and self-worth that I had been seeking for so long. So the first time I came to truly know and accept Jesus Christ into my life was at Cru Fall Retreat. And I remember feeling super lonely and just desperate for friends at that time in my life. And when I heard about this weekend away in the Santa Cruz Mountains with a whole bunch of college students, I was like, yeah, it sounds like a great way to socialize and make friends. So going into that weekend, I had one purpose of just building a community. But what I didn't realize is that weekend would hold so much more than just that. I didn't just end up making friendships, lasting friendships with people, but I also built a lasting relationship with the Lord. And so it was the last night of the fall retreat, and we were sitting down, and I was just listening to worship, and I was listening to lyrics, and something really unexpected happened where I heard God speak to me for the first time. And it was this moment of clarity, but just overwhelming presence of the Lord being there. And in that moment, I kind of just dropped everything, this whole act that I had, and I kind of just let everything in my past catch up to me, everything that I had been running from. And it was a big moment of vulnerability for me. And again, something really unexpected happened where the Lord, He was there waiting for me with open arms. And I was so surprised by that. And I heard Him tell me, stop running from your past and start running towards me. And so I did. And as much as I want to say since then, my walk and journey with Him has been really smooth. It hasn't been. And there have been so many times where I've strayed away from Him. But every time that I've come back in my time of need, He's always there. And it really amazes me because it shows me and everyone else that He has this unrelenting love and compassion for each and every one of us. And so no matter what is going on in our life, no matter how far away we stray, that will always prevail over anything else. I was lost and broken, now I'm fulfilled and found. What's your story?